Mic check, mic check. Alright, you ready?
So here's a recap, in case you forgot, of the places you've been and the people you fought. Are you ready? Well then come on, I'm gonna tell you what's dividing Avalon. There's an ancient sword with a tragic backstory. A MacGuffin so awesome, it's never boring. We got dwarves, we got elves, we got everything in sight. Avalon divided. It's alright. I was gonna make this thing rhyme, but seriously, man, who has the time? So anyways, going way back, you all started off in the small city of Roselorn, where you met a guy named Kemel. He ruled this town as magistrate, and after his previous adventures died in the cave, he wanted you to kind of finish where his previous guys failed. Before you started the adventure, the DM needed you all to level up, because you would have literally died. So you saved someone named Aliana from a mysteriously caused fire. As it turns out, Aliana is both an emissary from the royal family of Sunderland and heir to the throne. But Dupan didn't know this, or rather didn't care, so he stole a sacred family heirloom, a lifeblood amulet, if you will, from her. You know, what we call in the business a good idea. You all meet and almost befriend a crazy spectator by the name of Bilgy. He's insane, but maybe important? A harrowing trip later through the tunnels of Mardern, covered in gelatinous goo, Solaire grabs the sword. He collapses to the ground, entirely drained of his life force. Visibly disturbed and wanting a quick buck, you lovely, lovely adventurers completely sidestep the DM's plans, causing pages and pages of notes to be destroyed in the process. You all head towards Ridgeville, the capital city of Avalon. At least the middle countries, you know, and that's it. You want to sell the sword. You want to freaking get rid of the dang sword you spent 3 sessions retrieving. Obviously not an important sword. Along the way, you have a nasty run-in with what turns out to be another group of hiraes under the employ of Kemel, led by some jerk named Rufus Tensions. These jerks wish to take the blade and get the money for themselves. You all melt them into goo or deadify them rather easily. But Rufus escapes due to something called plot magic. Currently he's an even bigger jerk now, a thorn in your side, and he holds a personal vendetta against you all. And he definitely knows where you all live. Not that that's important or anything. Last you met him, he said he was under personal employ from Kemel, and he ambushed you dressed as an old woman.
Excuse me, is anyone here can help me?
Is there something you need, man?
Yes, a mugger stole my cat and my purse. I need help.
And that Kemel really wants that sword for some unknown reason. No one bothered to find out. But anyways, back to the sword. You meet another jerk in Ridgeville, a massive dwarf named Finithor. He wants the blade of dry wine. So, you sell the sword to Finithor. You steal back the sword from Finithor. The sword, in turn, is stolen by someone else. The brother-in-law of Dupan, Thor Thunderbelly, to be precise. Life's funny that way. Thunderbelly double-crosses you and sends you to the astral plane because the DM needed a long time to figure out what the heck he was going to do, on account of those previously destroyed notes. The astral plane sucks. You all hate it. It's a miserable time. You meet some Gith, a god being born, and a terrible, terrible mind flare. But you escape the astral plane eventually. Huzzah! Huzzah! A lot has changed in the time you were gone. Finithor's absence has caused an opening in the underworld. People are relatively unafraid and start demanding higher wages. Currently the leader is a rocket 17-year-old half-elf by the name of Talzin, or Tals for short. After his mother was poisoned by Bardstrom Skogul, more on that jerk later, Tals went militant and no longer wanted to walk a line of peaceful protest.
Hey! Riot!
But rather outright uprising. Pan meets a mysterious elf named Dahlia. She asks Dupan to gather some shady stuff for a lot of money, but Dupan just kind of forgets all about it. Dahlia is important though, it turns out, because she is also a member of the royal family of Sunderland, and sister to Aliana. You'll probably see more of these two in the future, so remember their names. They mean a lot to me, and they might be important. But where Eliana's heart seems to be lawful and true, Dahlia's is rotten and stinky. She stole a stone filled with some sort of anti-dark magic, goopy whatever, and poisoned the whole city's water supply with it.
Somebody's poisoned the water hole!
Causing countless death, and allowing a capable distraction for her boss to do some stuff. Her boss is named Pontiff Lands, and he's been operating in the void created by Finithor's demise. He seems allied with another magisterial candidate opposing Japan, by the name of Bartram Skogul. Bartram's kind of a jerk too, and also a religious zealot who worships the god of anti-magic, Nihilus. But he's a jerk with high influence and deep pockets, so Pontiff used him. And after he was done with him, left him abandoned, killed all his men, and allowed for him to easily get captured. We don't really know what Pontiff Lands wants yet, but Bartram spilled his guts after a dubious blood oath. This is what Bartram revealed. It's not entirely clear, but Pontiff's plan seems to involve the tunnels of Martyr, connecting underneath his large manor. The tunnels connect a lot of Avalon together, bypassing mountains and enabling easy travel.
Through the mountains, secret tunnel, yeah!
So maybe there's something there? I'll never tell. He seems interested with the Demon Lord of Decay, Drine, but to what extent, it's not entirely known. Oh yeah, Pontiff's also in the possession of the Blade of Dry Wine. You know, the thing you sold in the beginning of the campaign, the thing that certainly is unimportant. He also seems particularly interested in keeping Dahlia in his employ. She acts as a right-hand woman of sorts for him, doing all of his dirty work, and acting as an intermediary between the various factions he controls. Some more fun Pontiff facts. He's currently buying workers from the indentured quarry.
Wait, that's illegal.
He hates dragons, as one messed him up real bad in the past. He has a strange power complex about ruling people and being their, top dog, so to speak.
Top dog.
No doubt about it. You boys are made for each other.
He was a slave once, but no more. Now he is the master. Or something like that. Sounds like a well-rounded, compelling villain, if you ask me. Through some shenanigans involving some time travel, the party learned a couple more key facts about the lore and history of Avalon. Brev's teacher, Madame Mistra, is apparently the goddess of magic, cast away to walk the earth. They also learned about the tragic history of the Sword of Dry Wine. And they learned how dragons came to be the ruling power of Midthirst. 623 years ago, the sword is imbued with the blood of the demon Drine, which caused to have great healing powers. Those, of course, reversed and caused a lot of good people to be Thanos-snapped, including the king's daughter. King Dearden went mad at the loss of his daughter, and his mind is consumed by the aspect of Drine. Dearden then went on a killing spree, draining a bunch of people's life energy and life force and all that kind of fun stuff, growing more and more powerful with each life he consumed. Dearden killed a bunch of dragons, and they were ticked off to be sure.
Really just got T.O.'d.
They wanted to go on a full-scale decimation against Ridgeville and most of the countryside, but they were allowed to become the rulers instead because, politics.
Politica, obviously.
They also created some Dragonborns in the process. Pretty cool stuff. His son, Windale, realizing he must atone for his father's mistakes, with hordes of demons approaching, took a gem, a certain lifeblood amulet, if you will, and drained his life force into the gem, causing the power of Drine to be contained by his good-natured heart. After a long yet awesome battle, two important things happened. The blade and gemstone were separated, for together they were too powerful. With the lifeblood gemstone returning to Sunderland, and the blade, upon an ambush, being lost in the tunnels of Mardern for centuries. This blade only retained a portion of its former power.
1/4 portion.
But Drine's will cast upon it, in which to regain full control and unleash decay upon the land once more. But guess what? Japan sold the lifeblood gemstone as well. Sold in the heart of a black market to, quite frankly, a guy who did not understand its worth. So now not even Pontiff Lands knows where it's at. Only Japan knows of the gemstone's relative location, And even then, it's kind of a long shot. So, thankfully, the gemstone remains missing. But if blade and stone should ever meet, well, I guess we'll have to wait and see.
Da